Hello, welcome! Today we are going to play with DaVeers and trying to redesign them in a way that's a fun addition to the roster. I've redesigned one of and Baz thus far, and if you'd like to see that, you'll have the links down in the description. Please continue to leave comments. I love interacting with you all and I love hearing all your opinions. Now let's dive right in. DaVeers.
DaVeers.
Is a character whose kit uses Burnight and a grenade launcher. The bonuses you get from this character is mainly around the dodge, either by reducing dodge cooldown or getting bonus damage reduction once you dodge successfully. So we can already mark down that there needs to be some point of interest on the legs because, well, dodging using your legs, you get the idea. There is one thing I really want to do for this design from the beginning, and that is a mask. I get the idea of a firefighter inspired helmet, but this looks like a fishbowl more than anything. The kit itself reminds me of Junkrat from Overwatch, and while I know there's been some problems with the way the grenades themselves work in Concord, I'm not qualified to talk about that. Design wise, I get the idea of realistically being safe from the fire you use. But this is a game supposedly hosting diverse species from the galaxy. I think you can have a different human hybrid thing without the whole safety measure. Fun fact, if you Google Burnight pool, the only result is DaVeers, so I guess this is a concept unique to the game. Or if you really want them to be just a human dealing with fire, go straight out firefighter and call it a day. That's more interesting already because we know what that is. I tried to find what Burnight looks like, and the closest I found is Bornite, also known as Peacock ore, which is a sulfide of copper and iron. For those not into chemistry, yes, it burns. I like covering different topics while I'm doing my research, and I think DaVeers is the best opener for the conversation about diversity in games. Diversity in games, for me, is neither good or bad. Characters that have diverse identities, sexualities, or skin colors are fun and cool, and the bigger your roster is, the more of these you should have. The issue comes when creators consider these attributes as sufficient to deliver a character. It's not. Gay people are more than just gay people. DaVeers doesn't suffer from being a they/them. They suffer from being just a they/them. I can't find anything regarding their story, their race, and their description starts and ends with a chemistry whiz, then talks about their kids. That's all. The issue with this conversation though is that we are not clear enough in what we are trying to say, and by doing that, we invite bigots and other extremist mentalities to join, and that will never create a clear argument on either side being pro or contra DEI. Returning to DaVeers, there is so much up to interpretation that I could go in so many directions. This redesign is going to change the character the most from my series. Considering everything we talked about so far, I want to combine a few concepts. First, the chemistry genius. That's the only description we get from the character. I want a Mad Max aesthetic for this character, which I think is pretty cool. We don't have that yet, and I think it's gonna be a cool addition to the galactic species. Maybe they come from a dry, desolate side of Earth, or maybe a different planet that's desolated. I want to play around with the concept of Junkrat, so a little bit more strange character. I also want the mask, of course, is the thing that made me most excited to design this character. It's going to be a mask similar to Roadhog. Another concept that's going to go into this is the typically grenade launcher character because it's their weapon, it needs to be present, and I will try to keep the Breacher as their role. The Breacher in the Concord universe is the bringing enemy defenses role, and I will try to show that through the design of DaVeers. Of course, I'm going to try to keep the more androgynous vibe. That's a lot of work, so let's start. Like always, I'm starting with the silhouette because this looks like a manta ray if it was human. I'm taking the weapon from another picture of DaVeers, trying to change the position of it without redrawing it. Weapons are not my forte, so I don't really have to try to make it. For this one, compared to previous designs, I'm changing the pose quite a lot and not just with Lookify. I'm making them look a little bit more confident because that's kinda the only attribute we get from their voice. I am changing the helmet, like I said before. I'm trying here to give them a new haircut, which I think is gonna be looking really good later. I made it a little bit into a fade, and that really pushed the confidence. The mask is going to be pretty basic in the sense of design, but I think it's alright. I'm not trying to make these designs into most polished final products. This is more like a concept design, I guess, where the idea and the concept are more important than finishing touches. You're going to see though that the design itself was a little bit complicated. Here I'm trying to change the color scheme a little bit while keeping the general shapes the same, keeping that little chest cover thingy, but I'm making it black and I'm adding all the grenades that I see all the grenade characters having. Initially I wanted to give them a one sleeve, one off sleeve, I guess it's called, but that's gonna change soon. The thing with Davinci is that they are so out in the open, you can go in any direction, and what I try to do with this is to keep the apocalyptic kind of vibe while adding something to the roster, because usually when you have hero shooters you want to have the type of diversity where people could choose different aesthetics and styles and have fun with it. Here I tried to make some sort of design on the pants while keeping them pretty buffy. I didn't really like it. I'm going to scrap it very soon. It looked very bulky in a not good way, because while they are supposed to be breeches, they are still moving a lot. I added on the arm there at first a symbol of danger, like just a simple X, but that's quite boring and you're going to see me changing it into something more interesting, which is a caution chemicals ahead, something like that. That's, I think, more interesting, and I'm going to keep that emblem choice for longer. For the shape language, I'm trying to combine a little bit of sharp shapes because they are quite dangerous. I also incorporated some circles so they are a little bit approachable, and bulky shapes like square shapes, they are not fragile. So quite a complex design. I was not happy with where it was right now. While the silhouette was better, I didn't like how it read, like the details read, so I started to change it. I really am happy with the head. I was so happy at this point after I added the details here and there. I was like, okay, this design is done. I'm happy. Let's move on. But I know I couldn't do that, so I continued to play with the colors and everything. I know the initial choice of giving them makeup is questionable, but it's not, because both male and female characters have this kind of makeup in Mad Max kind of setting, so I continue to do that. What I tried to do here is add some chaos because it was too pristine, it was too symmetric, too clean. I added the little stripe, I added the bombs with Bornite. I decided to change everything around to fit the Bornite color, and then I looked up how chemical burns look like because I thought that's going to be an interesting aspect. I know they're supposed to be a mastermind at chemistry, and that still stays, but because of the environment they have to work in, accidents happen, so I thought it's going to be an interesting little detail. The little break you saw there was actually me losing footage, so I had to redraw the pants. I'm going now for a asymmetric half up, half down pants design. I was a little bit sad at this point because it didn't look like the first concept I drew, but it's alright, it came out alright in the end. I'm using here the symmetry tool to fix the boot and make it a little bit more robotic. I really like the idea here that you don't know if it's a robotic leg, if they are shoes, a fashion choice, if they are helping them to jump and stuff. I like the idea of it being up to interpretation. I'm now making the weapon a little bit bigger because it was getting lost in the design. And the jetpack thingies behind them, you're going to see I changed into the same greenish purplish color. I really liked giving them a bit of muscle. I think that pulled the designs up even more. It's just an interesting detail because not many alchemists get to be muscly at the same time, I guess. You see me adding that same symbol on the chest, making it look like paint. So I'm adding the do-it-yourself part of this aesthetic. I added that green color you see in the original into their eyes, just like a little throwback to their initial design. Now it's pretty much just cleaning up, making the texture look like what it's supposed to look like, and adding some details here and there where it's necessary. As final touches, I went in with a textured brush and I added some dirt, basically. It's not that they are dirty, but because of the environment. I didn't really like it towards the end, it looked like cheese, so I tried to change that orange into something less cheesy, and I liked it in the end a little bit more. Here I'm adding just the last character concept light design thing, you know, just to make it look a little bit more professional. And I'm fixing bandages and some little details here and there, just the very last touches. And here we have the final design. I changed a little bit of the lighting after editing this video. I also changed a little bit of their head, made it a little bit more of a combination between feminine and masculine features to keep the initial concept. And this is the before and the after. Hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it. This took me so freaking long because I lost the footage and then my footage got corrupted 2 times and I had to do it a 3rd time. And yeah, if you enjoyed, please let me know your thoughts. If you want to see more with the next character in line being Doe, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy I'm finally done with this video because it took way too long. Okay, thank you, bye bye.